I was always amazed about was how these guys taught me how to hold the stick in my hand. This is always the greatest question. How do you hold the stick in your hand? So it always comes down to that. And here's what they did. Both Chapin and Morello. They did this here. Flip it back once, that's how you're gonna hold it. Flip it in your hand and stop. Hold it right there, okay? Now, after it lays in your hand, don't adjust your hand. Just flip it and stop. You just flip it a half time, half turn. Okay, you're adjusting it.
Right.
Again, pause. Okay, you adjusted it again. Okay, now what you're doing is you're closing your hand as you're catching it. I'm going to take the stick and flip it and just relax your hand.
Yeah, I guess I'm just used to positioning it.
What you're used to is, what I see in your hand is you're used to tensing, clasping on the stick.
Okay.
I want to remove that out of your playing.
Okay.
Because by you closing your hand, that's you training your hand to tense. That's better.
Got you.
Much better. Pause. Now, in that position, look what's happening now. Your hand, your index finger actually came into here. It stuck out a little, okay? Feel the positioning of where your finger is right there. If you want to bring that finger in to close it, you have to do what?
Squeeze it.
Squeeze is tension. That's what we're going to move out of your hands. So that motion right there, now here's how the body works. This is really important to understand. This will be on the video too. In order to, if you want to bring this finger in, it wants to normally just hang here. That's where it wants to go. It wants to relax there. Mm-hmm. If you bring it in and you squeeze it, that means you have to give the command from your mind. Your brain gives the command. Under your brain are your nerve endings. It goes down through the middle part of your spine. Your nerve endings are in your spine. It goes down through your nerve endings. So the command goes as an electrical impulse down your nerve endings into your center part of your stomach here, and your nerve endings then are attached to your muscles. The command of the order through an electrical impulse goes down, hits the muscle, and then turns the command into movement. So this nerve endings tells this muscle to pull this muscle, to pull this muscle, to pull this muscle, to pull that finger in. So if you have to pull that finger in and you hold that there, you are giving a command right now to hold that finger in. It doesn't normally want to go in, but you're commanding it to do that. That's tension. That's what we got to remove out of your hands. It's the first thing I noticed when you played for me before. When I saw your hands, I saw your hands working well, but you're still working too hard to achieve that.
Okay.
You're using 10 pounds of energy to get 20 pounds of results. Mm. And I'm saying we're going to use 1 pound of energy to get 30 pounds of results. Okay. That's what these guys showed me. So now in this motion now, so when you flip the stick in your hand, when it flips back, it comes here, it lands in this part of your hand, which we call the shock absorber part of your hand, and when you just allow the fingers to catch it, it ends here. See where it is now?
Yeah.
Flip the stick again. Yeah, I can relax this finger. Do it again, flip it. Better, okay? Much better. Now, when we go here, now look what happens. Notice where your index finger is further out than these fingers. Mm-hmm. Now, by doing that exercise, we've relaxed your hands a little. What you've now done is you're slouching again. Mm. Okay? And you gotta remember that. Remember that feeling of what's happening. Again, when we record this here, the power of recording this here is putting both of us under a microscope. You can see how I'm teaching it, how I explain it, and how you're resulting to it. So when you go back and watch this, you have, I wish I would have had, recordings of these lessons with these guys. It would have been so great. The technology was just not meant to be at that time. So now, the flat part of your thumb is the pad of your thumb. The side of your thumb is what creates tension.
Right.
Okay, now, before you were grabbing the stick, and you were talking about putting a little pressure, okay? And you were putting some pressure on the stick. And when you put pressure, notice the white in your thumb. Mm-hmm. What's that white from?
From pushing on the...
It's
blood being pushed out.
Correct. It's the tension of the thumb, and because of the tension, blood is being pushed out of that area, which means there's no blood in the white part of your thumb. Now, as a general policy, blood has to flow everywhere for us to exist. If you're stopping blood from flowing at one point of your body, that's not good. So if I ask, what is the advantage of tension? What's the advantage of tension?
You can see where the blood is flowing or not, in terms of your nails.
Well, what I'm saying, what's the advantage of having tension? Of being tense? In anything?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure because the answer is nothing. There's no advantage.
Okay, that's...
Think about it, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you're going with it. There's no advantage. Do people like you when you're tense?
No.
Do you think better when you're tense?
No.
Do you move better when you're tense?
No.
So I always say, if tension is the enemy of movement, and it's not, there's no advantages to it, why is everybody tense?
Right.
I spend my whole life training myself to be relaxed. I'm one of the most relaxed guys. In some of the most difficult situations, I'm still relaxed. Just the other day, my water pipe blew in my basement. I had 5 inches of water in my basement. Drums are there, paper in my office, the whole thing. Mess. I walk down to see it. I step into 5 inches of water. First thing I do is I turn the main water pipe off. I go down and I start laughing. I think this is hysterical.
Wow.
I said, my gosh, I've been paying homeowners insurance for 30 years. I've never used it. I said,
Now's
well,
the
now
time.
I'm finally using it. I got a kick out of that, right? So I go upstairs to my wife. She's in the kitchen, and I'm in my pajamas early in the morning. And I go, I said, honey, remember that we had that talk one day where we once said if we ever won lotto and we bought a big house, we'd have a built-in swimming pool. Remember that? I said, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. And we were just talking about it. I said, well, you know, I got you the built-in swimming pool. What are you talking about? I built you a built-in swimming pool. Where? I said, in the basement. Come on down. She says, what are you talking about? We came down and she took that last step of that one.
Yeah.
She didn't laugh.
No.
She was screaming, right?
Yeah.
I was laughing because now she's screaming. So my point is that even in those situations, what are you gonna do? It happened. Now we gotta get the water out, call the company, whatever it is. So that's how I approach life.